This video is a week 1 recap with my Kentucky Extreme Mustang Makeover Mustang Stitch. If you haven't already, go check out days 1 through 3 that are uploaded to follow along his first few days of being gentled. This video is going to go through our full first week together following day 3. This is day 4, ride number 1. On day 2, I got on Stitch's back, but I didn't really move him around. I just disengaged his haunches each direction. I gave him a groundwork day on day 3, and now on day 4, it's time for his first ride. I'm going to use a ground person on this to help push him forward. He's very low energy, and I also don't want to get in his way too much. I don't want to spend his first time moving out under saddle with me pushing so hard trying to get him to move forward when he doesn't understand. I just want him to get comfortable moving around with me on his back and me guiding him a little bit. So by having that ground person, he already knows how to move from pressure with a person on the ground. That person's going to push him forward and help show him the right answers, while I also butt in and show him some new cues with a rider on his back. Now, I didn't get the best footage from our first ride. I just had to set my phone up at an angle, so there's a few parts where it cuts out and it's just not the greatest first ride video, but I still want to show you guys some highlights from it with what I can salvage. It was raining pretty hard this day, so the audio is also pretty bad, so I'm not going to put too many clips in without me doing voiceovers, just because it's going to be really weird sounding, it's just going to be hard to understand anything, and it's just not going to sound very good with the rain on the roof. But right here initially, I spent some time just sitting on him, rubbing all over his body and just making sure he was comfortable. I didn't want to just get on and get to the point. I wanted to make sure he could relax a little bit and I could spend some time just getting him more comfortable before I start asking him to do anything. So after adjusting him a little bit, the first thing we're going to do is disengage his haunches, and I'm combining the whip pressure with my foot bumping him. He doesn't understand what a foot bumping him is. We can't just squeeze him forward or kick him forward. He doesn't know what that means. On the ground, I taught him what the whip pressure means, so he knows what those pressure points are. He knows how to move from them. So I'm combining the two to show him what that leg pressure means. So instead of just throwing him out to the wolves to figure out on his own and just getting into like a squeezing match or a kicking match and just constantly making him uncomfortable, I'm showing him the answer that he already knows to add in that new cue, and that's going to help him a lot later on. So after I disengaged him both ways and I got him moving pretty good, it was going to be time to kind of let him roll out of that and start asking for that forward movement. I made sure that I rubbed on him because he was doing really good. He was being very quiet and just doing a really good job. He's a very nice-minded Mustang. He has his moments where he gets nervous that, things that I've known from off-camera work and just being around him for so long, because I am editing this a lot later on than this actually happened. Knowing him, he had his moments of getting nervous. He had his moments of being a little bit more reactive, but overall, he has a very good mind on him, and I got very lucky with the horse I got. He was still a wild Mustang, there's no doubt about that, but he was very good. Like, he had a good temperament, he was very willing, he learned very well, he just was a really nice horse. So right after this disengagement, you'll see we're starting to look for that forward movement. And the only difference that you're going to see is I let go of his face a little bit. I went from disengaging him, where he had that forward movement, and I had his head bent, to letting go of his head, where he could just roll out of that and keep moving forward. It's going to help a lot having that ground person. I'm not going to get in his way. If he starts trotting forward, I'm not going to grab him and snatch him down. You don't want to shut down forward movement, especially with such a low energy horse. You want to encourage that. So if he's going to go trot off, I'm not going to just shut him down right away, because then he's going to think he's not allowed to move forward. And he has no energy. He's very low energy. I want to encourage as much forward movement as I can. I don't care if he goes cantering. If it gets dangerous, I can stop him, but I just want him to roll forward and learn that he can move forward. The only time that I'm going to grab the reins and touch his face is when he needs to get redirected. So if he tries turning to the fence or anything like that, I'm just going to straighten him out or redirect him, and then I'm going to go back to not touching his face. I'm really trying to stay out of his face as much as I can to help him out and just not be in his way when he's trying to figure out this new thing, because this is really different. It's amazing that he's having his first ride so soon. So I want to make sure that I'm there for him and I support him through all of it. So like I said, because the camera's set up and I don't have someone videoing, I missed a few parts and I didn't get the best quality videos for our first ride. So right there when he gets stuck by the gate, you guys can't really see what's going on, but we're just redirecting him, and I have the ground person put pressure behind him and we're just pushing him forward, and then we're just going about the ride. We're not making a big deal out of it. But this was a really good first ride. All we strived for was forward movement. Like, I'm not teaching him anything other than how to move forward. I'm not teaching him how to steer, I'm just redirecting him. And that's really all that happened. Right there, to get him to stop, I just stopped riding. I didn't pull back and get in his way or get him all confused. I just stopped riding, he slowed down and stopped, and then I got off of him. And that was a perfect first ride for him. He had his moments that you guys couldn't see because of the camera angle, where he wanted to kind of jump into the fence by the gate, just because he didn't know what to do with that forward movement he had. But overall, that was a really good first ride. Today is day 6? 5? Day 5? Day 6? I don't know. Either one. It has not quite been a week. We're going off for our second ride. Third time I'll be on him. And we're going to go into the arena. And maybe go on a trail ride. For his second ride, which is a little bit crazy to me. But it's a good confidence booster for me because I don't have much confidence on colts. But he's good enough that we're going to push through it a little bit and have fun.
That's not your trail.
He's like, I'm going to go that way.
That's not your... His itches. I got stitches.
Oh my goodness. My hands are so frozen. That was weird. But you can do it. Okay, buddy. All right.
Well, that went well.
Okay. You're only going to be allowed to do that a few times. Jump out. This is from day 6, and this is our third ride. I went back to the round pen here because after our second ride, where I'd ridden him in the arena and I'd ridden him on the trails and in fields, he had finally figured out forward movement, so it was going to be a lot easier for him to go back to the enclosed round pen where he struggled on that first ride with his forward movement. He felt less trapped, he felt like he had more room to go because now he knew what I was actually asking of him. So I just wanted to make sure I went back there and made sure he was okay with it so we could continue moving forward in our training. And we just did some obstacle work, some steering, getting him more forward through different movements, and of course the obstacles, which he did amazing at. He loves pushing that ball, and he was just super cute pushing it around, and he was really brave with all the obstacles under saddle. So he did really good on his third ride. Later that night, we did some pretty intense desensitizing. Stitch handled all of this really well. He was surrounded by other horses and lots of craziness going on, and he did a wonderful job handling this. And this is some awesome desensitizing for him.
Good boy.
Let her butt.
Alright, ready?
Yep.
Fire in the hole!
Good boy. Good job, bud. You're doing it. You're so brave.